Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the Master of Hoppers. Today, joined by
Brett.
Vanomyces, reviewing something really special because today, well, not today, this weekend, and now I have time to do it. I turned 33 years of age, and I wanted to crack something special, and no one had time besides Brett. And this is a small bottle, so we'll just drink it on our own. So yeah, happy birthday to me. It was on the 15th of January. You might see this on the 16th. I don't know. Probably. Maybe even on my birthday. But we're drinking some Side Project and some Anchorage, two of our all-time favorite breweries, coming together for a collaboration beer called Forever Darkness.
Yeah.
Massive shout out to Chris, my proxy, for helping getting this all the way to Denmark. You rule, man. I was lucky enough in the online sale of this. So, Side Project and Anchorage already did a collab called King of Darkness that we had, which was really great. Really extreme.
Really extreme.
Really
extreme old school.
Sharp, tart, old school. A lot of people were like, is it infected? But it was just like acidity of roasted malt, really, I think. Amazing beer. World class. We loved it. Not on the top 10 last year, although, but we only give it a 96.
It was, it had a lot of competition, so
yeah. But this one smells crazy from here, and also pouring out looks crazy. So basically, they came together to do this beer in the Side Project way with Anchorage influence. They tried to push the max of their knowledge in terms of making barrel aged beer to make this, and they used, I think, Anchorage yeast, house yeast.
Primary strain.
Yes, their primers, and I guess that means the one they use the most.
Yeah,
for beers like this, and then they gave it the old Side Project treatment, but also with some Anchorage influences. So it's triple barrel aged, like Anchorage does the triple oaking. So it's aged for 8 months first in Willet rye barrels, then after that transferred to Willet bourbon barrels for 12 months, and then back to fresh Willet rye barrels for 16 months.
Yeah.
So, and it's a beast of a beer. It's a 19% barrel aged Imperial Stout.
We were going to feel this.
Yeah, we might not have much other beers today, but I think this is going to be worth it. I can smell it from here, and I want to go nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, massive 19% beast in I think the first publicly released or online released small bottle.
Okay.
Of stout at least.
Yeah.
So let's check this bad boy out. Pours out like motor oil. Like this looks like Medianoche.
Yeah.
Pouring out in the glass. It is so thick. The head is completely gone, but when pouring out, it had somewhat of a head that was like the darkest shade of brown.
Yeah.
And then the lacing covering the side of the glass is
the
just
color
nuts.
of this is just nuts. It's completely opaque.
Yeah.
Black.
Yeah. And popping this, pouring it out, that was so much rye whiskey.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me just in the room? So, yeah, I think this is going to be a good birthday treat.
Yeah.
Do you want to check out the aroma?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Oh, that's huge.
Wow.
Oh my god, that's so huge.
That is a big old punch in your nostrils. Damn. But it's also warm.
Yeah.
I think it's the most, it's borderline the most spirit-forward smelling beverage I've ever had that's not a spirit.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much rye whiskey. It's crazy.
It's definitely the most spirit-forward stout I've had. Like, it's close to being as spirit-forward. Actually, it's not close. It's the same or maybe even more than triple oaked A Deal with the Devil.
I think it's more.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I have some rye whiskey. I almost want to have that on the side just to show, like, maybe we'll do that in the end. But it's fun. Stick your nose in completely, and it's unrushed. But if you do it out here, you get brownie batter fudge, like you do with so much Side Project.
It very much depends on how.
It's almost like when you approach a spirit,
Yeah.
you can dive your nose all the way in. You can keep it at a distance to pick up different nuances. That's how extreme and intense this is.
Yeah. But yeah, it's when you smell it a bit more like this.
Yeah.
It's like very chocolate forward.
Yeah. Really brownie batter, like chocolate. And also loads of tobacco.
Yeah, I was just about to say pipe tobacco.
Yeah.
And also a bit more maybe spicy, but then when you go in, I get a lot of like this almost like boozy vanilla.
Yeah, boozy vanilla bean,
Yeah.
coconut, loads of drying charred wood, burnt notes, ashy notes, a roasted malt, warming rye whiskey. The rye is totally the dominant factor here, but I think there's also a little bit of a sweet fudgy bourbon profile, but it's like heavy on spicy rye.
Yeah.
It smells so fucking good. Also, lots of like almost like a caramelized or caramel. You make like if you caramelize sugar on a pan and it's almost burnt.
Yeah. There's also like really black, intense licorice.
Yeah. Really heavy roasted espresso. So much fudge. It really opens up the more you swirl it in the glass too, because it's so extreme. Yeah. But it's interesting. I like to smell it, not just like.
Yeah.
Because it's so like if you just dive your nose in, it's like whoa, what's going on? Like it's someone smacked you across your face. Because there's so much intense spirit character.
Yeah. But of course, it's also 19%.
Yeah, I think it's the
apart
strongest.
From being triple barrel aged.
Yeah, I think it's one of the strongest stouts from Side Project, if not the strongest. It smells insane. It smells crazy extreme.
Massively concentrated.
Yeah, modern extreme beer. Cheers.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to me.
Cheers.
Whoa! That's like drinking rye whiskey with stout.
Yeah, it is. It's like if you just merged those two completely.
That is nuts. It's so thick too.
Yeah.
It's so rich.
Yeah.
So rich. Like I was talking about taking rye whiskey on the side. No, that's not necessary. This is like stout flavored rye whiskey. Almost.
This is. I think it's the most intense beer I've ever drunk.
It's really intense. Yeah,
I think it is. It's the most like concentrated, intense beer I've ever had.
It's almost taking me back.
So you don't need you don't need
the whiskey.
Rye whiskey.
Like this is really for spirit lovers. Like people who love bourbon and rye whiskey will just love this. I mean, it's thicker and richer.
Yeah.
Of course,
it's yeah.
But like there is so much barrel character on this, and it's so decadent. It's almost like drinking some of like the really extreme brewery beers from back in the day. Just it's a modern base, like Black Tuesday and that kind of stuff. Or if you think of some of the ice box beers that's done by Distreeze, that's been barrel aged before and then barrel aged after,
and Americanized and yeah.
Really like. A beer that puts hair on your chest.
Yeah, it is, and it is like a rye whiskey covered brownies. Like, it's really a sipper.
But it's but it's not like the brownie batter fudge. That is why BBT is so popular. That kind of crazy bourbon barrel aged brownie batter fudge flavor. It's somewhat there, but it's obstructed by heaps and heaps of spirit flavor.
Yeah. That's also why I say it's covered in like
it's
rye whiskey.
like a little bit. It's like
soaked in it.
It's more than soaked. It's like if you had a pot of brownies and you just pour whiskey over it, rye whiskey on top of it, and like just started eating it. It's much more extreme than the Anchorage version, actually. I think.
Yeah, but the Anchorage version was also, although being very extreme, but quite different in flavor.
Yeah. The flavor profiles are massively different.
Yeah.
This is not as acidic, but I know also with at Side Project they use is it bicarbonate or something to bring up pH levels. So after boiling, so that the stouts don't get too feel too acidic.
Okay,
which makes sense. But that's what you kind of get in there. I'm getting a little bit of a marshmallowy, sweet vanilla, fudgy thing there. Lots of caramel.
There's definitely
lots of umami. Also,
spirity vanilla.
Yeah, lots of umami. Lots of like really heavy, like it's almost like
charry
burnt
leather.
Yeah, charry leather, but also like burnt meat. Like it's savory, like almost like Marmite.
Yeah,
a little bit.
But I see like at least like almost like burnt meat or like really like heavily toasted leather or something.
Also a touch of maple.
Yeah, but it's like
it's just like gone. It's like a kiss on the
Yeah, because it doesn't have, you don't sense the sweetness, the sugar content that this beer definitely has.
This is probably a really sweet. I don't like. This is probably 1,000 calories in a bottle or something like that. Like it's really dense, but you don't taste any sweetness really.
No,
because there's so much spirit.
Yeah, and roast.
And there's definitely also.
But it doesn't feel harsh.
No.
And also so much spice from the barrel and the toastiness and charriness and yeah.
But mouthfeel isn't too far away from BBT.
It's a bit more. It feels a bit more saucy.
Yeah.
BBT is a bit more, I would say, like luxurious.
And
this is a bit more extreme and saucy.
Yeah. And I will say for sure BBT is more my wheelhouse. And it's a beer I would take any day over this. But this is a really fun experience nonetheless. Like this is not a Hunnits beer for me.
No.
I think this is where it gets too extreme.
Yeah.
That's like my main point. Like it's fucking fun to try, and it's awesome that we get to try this. But this is where it gets too extreme. This is where I would actually have it taste like a stout with rye whiskey flavor, and not rye whiskey with stout flavor.
Yeah.
But it's it's still world class.
But there's also
beverage.
But it also has, for me, it has also a bit to do with the texture and stuff. This feels a bit more
gloopy. It's almost like chocolate sauce.
Yeah.
And I think that mouthfeel in stouts gets too much.
Yeah, that's where BBT has a better mouthfeel in my opinion, because it's rich and coating, but it's not. It doesn't feel like drinking a sauce.
Yeah,
But
I think it's a really cool attempt at making, like, pretty much the most extreme barrel aged stout you can. Yeah. Like this seems like and it's so old school too, with all that heavy roasted malt and everything. Like, I really think it's definitely a grown man's drink. It's not something you serve for.
You really gotta be a geek and a nerd.
You can't serve this for anyone but geeks.
Having had so many like extreme barrel aged stouts before drinking this. Yeah.
But you know what? I think it's world class, but I don't think it's much more than world class. I'm actually gonna score it the same as King of Darkness.
Yeah, I think so.
96.
Yeah.
It's a case of being a little bit too extreme for its own good, at least in my preference.
But yeah, to me it's just, when it gets this bold and this concentrated, you also lose, detail, and you also use like the refinement of what barrel aging can do and what a good base can do.
Yeah.
So it's that balance that you would want that bold, oomphy character from the base and the barrels, but you also want the nuances that both can produce, and you maybe lose a bit of that, or you do lose some of the nuance when it's this heavy.
Extreme. Yeah, and all the soft, more delicate nuances.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You really have to been through some really heavy, intense stouts, barrel-aged stouts before this to really appreciate it.
And you just gotta love rye whiskey and mainly rye whiskey.
Luckily, we both appreciate that.
Yeah, I love rye
maybe even more than bourbon. So,
it just offers that really sharp, spicy character, which is really nice, and that's in abundance here, and that's definitely what's showing most compared to bourbon.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, like this is borderline where like it does not need to go further than this.
No.
Now we reach the end.
Yeah.
Now let's make something a bit more easy drinkable,
refined,
make more BBT, make more BBT rye, BBT. Calvados.
Just like a deal with the devil. Like a deal with the devil to me is like the perfect amount of like boldness when it comes to barley wine.
Yeah, and extremity.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see more BBT variants. I don't think that will ever happen. Imagine that, a BBT apple brandy.
Yeah, I was just about to say it.
I don't know how that'd be, but we love apple brandy, so anything apple brandy barrel aged. But yeah, this was really fun to try. So I'm really glad we cracked it. And
so
like, I'd say if you want to trade for it, you should, but be warned of the extremeness, extremity of it. Because it's so intense, but it's so good. Like you can tell that this is a product that some people have really put a lot of thought and effort into. But it's reached such a level where it's just like, it's some of the most extreme beer I think I've ever drunk. So you really have to be into that.
Again, I think this is maybe the most like intense concentrated beer.
Yeah, I think it's the most extreme barrel aged stout I've had.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
Applaud Cape and Corey for doing that.
Yeah, for being able to still keep it in somewhat balance,
Yeah,
for
and
being
drinkable.
this insane and over the top. So
get it if you're a whiskey nut. Otherwise, I think you should get beers from either breweries instead. Because they've done beers that I'd rather drink.
Yeah.
Just because they are a bit
and
more easygoing.
That I would taste as the first one or first ones instead of this. I would try this later on.
Easygoing.
Yeah.
Like BBT or I deal with them aren't easygoing.
They aren't
beers.
easygoing.
They're some of the best beers in this crazy caliber around. But
crazy complex bold beers.
Yeah. So if you guys had a chance to try Side Project and Anchorage Forever Darkness, let us know what you thought of it. A really nice birthday beer. Not a Hunnit's birthday beer. I don't think I've ever done a Hunnit's beer for my birthday, actually. We usually just crack whales whenever we feel like it. But that's also the occasion of cracking it.
But we were very surprised by the Mikla Isle brunch.
Oh, yeah.
Weasel Isle barrels one a couple of years ago.
That was, that was surprising.
That took us a bit by surprise.
And that one is probably long gone now.
Yeah.
Unless someone has it in their cellar. But if you guys had this one, let us know what you thought of it. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page, and Twitter, and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And thanks to Chris for helping us get this back home.
Yeah.
And we're going to say cheers.
Yes.
And see you guys in the beer review.